In this class, we have to discuss the postulates of quantum mechanics. There are totally 6 postulates, and all these postulates we have already discussed. Only one or two things we need to mention here. Actually, the postulate 1 is essentially the Schrodinger wave equation, wave function. Here, as you know, time can also be come when we talk about a moving subatomic particle, and from the time dependent Schrodinger equation we have derived time independent Schrodinger equation. Okay, so here in the sense of postulate 1 is a wave function psi is actually representing the state of the system. Okay, so now let us discuss any dynamical physical state of a system. Dynamical system means that it is always changing. Dynamical physical state of a system. Physical state means the position. If it stands there, that is the position, and if it moves, its angular momentum. Okay, so the dynamical physical state of a system is described as completely as possible by a wave function. Okay, and this is the wave function. Okay, it is representing the dynamical physical state of a system. For example, when we talk about electrons here, so it is represented by psi, which is a function of all the spatial coordinates and time. Okay, so it represents the 3 coordinates x, y, and z, and also for a moving subatomic particle it also represents the time. Okay, and thus for a spatial particle requiring the 3 Cartesian coordinates x, y, z to specify its position. Okay, so these 3 coordinates are representing the position, that is the Cartesian coordinates, as you know, and time will come as a variable. Okay, so psi as a function of psi x, y, z, and t. Okay, so psi can be written as a function of x, y, z, and t, where t is the time. Psi has the important property that psi star psi t tau is proportional to the probability that the particle will be found in the volume element d tau. D tau means, as you know, we have already discussed all these things, dx, dy, and dz. That is infinitesimally small space where the electron can be found. Okay, at that particular time. Okay, all right. Now we will discuss postulate 2. Postulate 2 is nothing but all about the Schrodinger wave equation, the time dependent Schrodinger wave equation. Okay, for every system, the possible wave function psi x, y, z, t are obtained by solving the time dependent Schrodinger wave equation. Okay, so this wave equation we have already discussed, and from this wave equation we concluded that for our convenience we just have to consider as a standing wave. Okay, and this equation then we get h psi equal to h operator psi equal to minus h bar by I di psi divided by dt. This is only in the case of time comes as a variable, where h operator is the Hamiltonian operator and the unique operator that represents the total energy of the system. As you know, Hamiltonian operator represents total energy. That means it includes kinetic energy and potential energy of the electron. Now let us discuss postulate 3 for the wave function psi x, y, z, t to be acceptable as a function representing the properties of the system. So we have already discussed the psi is a wave function of the electron which is representing the properties of the system. So there should be certain conditions that psi should be acceptable when it is continuous, finite, single valued, and also quadratically integrable. Okay, so we have already discussed all these points, and now it is coming here also as a postulate of quantum mechanics. Okay, a function obeying the above conditions is said to be a well-behaved function. Okay, and a wave function is said to be normalized if it satisfies the condition. Okay, so wave function is normalized. So this is a normalized wave function. As you know, integral for all space dx, dy, dz, all space psi star d tau equal to 1. So this indicates that the unit probability of meeting the electron around the nucleus. Okay, so this wave function psi star is representing the probability density, that is the electron density, d tau representing the dx, dy, and dz. Okay, and now next we have to discuss the postulate 4 Here it comes as a Hermitian operator, as we have already discussed linear operators and Hermitian operators. Here it comes as a linear Hermitian operator. Okay. To every observable in classical mechanics, there corresponds a linear Hermitian operator in quantum mechanics. Okay, so observable in the sense for position, momentum, etc. So there should be a linear Hermitian operator that is representing the observable in quantum mechanics. Okay, an observable is an experimentally measured dynamical variable, changing variable. Okay, observable is an experimentally measurable dynamical variable. In classical mechanics, we come across several such dynamical variables like position, momentum, angular momentum, energy, etc. Okay, and these variables of classical mechanics are represented by operators in quantum mechanics. In quantum mechanics, we will always play with operator because Schrodinger equation itself is h psi equal to psi. H is the Hamiltonian operator and that is the energy operator. Okay, so energy is an observable in the classical mechanics, and also it is represented by an operator in quantum mechanics. For the position variable x, in case of x direction, in classical mechanics, the corresponding operator in quantum mechanics is x hat. The operator involved being multiplied by x. Okay, and the kinetic energy, if you represented Ek, energy kinetic, and the corresponding operator is Ek operator, which is given by minus h square divided by 8 pi square m whole del square. Okay, so we have already discussed when we were talking about the reduced form of the Schrodinger equation. Okay, so a measurable physical properties must be real and it is not complex. It should be real, then only there is a unit probability to meet the electron. Okay, so measurable physical properties must be real and the corresponding operator obey the relationship. So this is essentially the Hermitian operator integral psi 1 star a operator psi 2 d tau equal to psi 2 integral psi 2 a operator psi 1 complex conjugate of it and then d tau. Okay, for any pair of functions psi 1 and psi 2 in a set that describes the state of the system. Okay, so here when we talk about this equation, we have already mentioned that psi 1 and psi 2 is representing the state of the system. Such operators belong to the class of Hermitian operators. In short, operators corresponding to physically observable quantities must be Hermitian. Okay, so physically observable quantities should be Hermitian or must be Hermitian. Okay, then only it can be acceptable. Now let us discuss the postulate 5. The only values that can result from the measurement of an observable A will be eigenvalue satisfying the eigenvalue equation. So we have already discussed the eigenvalue equation. Operator is acting on the wave function psi I equal to AI and then psi A. So this is what we are getting when operator A is acting on the wave function psi. We get the same wave function back by multiplied it with a constant. So AI is the eigenvalue and this is a constant, where A operator is an operator corresponding to the physically observable. Okay, physically observable. Okay, and then it is acting on a wave function. So physically observable quantity in quantum mechanics, it will be an operator. Okay, and postulate 4 requires physically meaningful operators to be Hermitian. Okay, so it was already discussed in the last slide, and the Hermitian operators always have real eigenvalues. Then only we can find the electron around the nucleus, because only real numbers can represent physical measurements. Okay, and this means that the result of psi I is to reproduce psi I multiplied by a real constant AI. That means we are essentially coming to the eigenvalue equation. Okay, and this constant eigenvalue, this constant means AI, eigenvalue represents the value of the physical quantity A. Okay, whatever the physical quantity represented by the operator, and this constant will give the physical quantity A measured in a system represented by psi A. Okay, So this is nothing but the operator observable in the classical mechanics is operating on the function psi a. Then we get the same function back with a multiplied by a constant ai. Okay. Now let us consider this aspect with regard to the energy levels of an atom and molecule. Okay. Essentially, these energies are given by the eigenvalues of the energy operator, H operator, the Hamiltonian operator. So we will discuss about these points in the coming slides. Then you will come to know how the energy levels are coming, how we can draw the energy levels of an atom and a molecule. Okay. And the corresponding equation is the time independent Schrodinger equation, H psi equal to E psi. Essentially, this is H psi equal to E psi only. It means that the measurement of an energies of different states of a system, only the eigenvalues arising from the solution of the above equation will be observed. Okay, so it indicates that the measurement of energies of different states of the system. The electron can take different states. Okay, so because at different distance the electron can occupy from the nucleus. Okay, so that means the measurement of energies at that particular states. Okay, so only we will get the eigenvalues arising from the solution of the above equation will be observable. Okay, so energy when the electron occupying the 1s orbital, energy of the electron occupying at that 2s orbital. Okay, so it is just like the eigenvalues will give the energy of the system. Now we are coming to the last postulate 6. Here we are talking about an average value of the system. Here an average value or expectation value is otherwise called expectation value of any observable which corresponds to an operator, A operator, when a large number of measurements are involved. Okay, so for example, if the electron moves in s orbital, then we have to, if this is the nucleus and if it moves in this way, okay, and then that at each distance we can measure the distance of the electron. Okay, and at each point we can measure the angular momentum of the electron. Okay, and then at this particular instant it may not have the same distance from the electron, or if there is a slight variation, so number of distances we have to measure, number of points we have to measure the distance from the nucleus. Okay, if that is the case, we have to take an average value, or it is an expectation value. When a large number of measurements are involved, okay, the expectation value or the average value of the observable system equal to integral all space psi star A operating on psi d tau divided by integral psi star psi d tau. Psi star psi d tau is essentially 1 because the probability is there meeting the electron. Okay, and for a normalized wave function, simply we have to get only expectation value equal to integral psi star A operator psi d tau, because this is essentially 1. By definition, the expectation value is the value that we should measure if we perform an experiment, and this is quantum mechanics is predicted by the above expression. So for your understanding, I can tell you what is expectation value in simple means or a layman's point of view. So if you want to check whether the water in a river is good for drinking or not, so we have to take a particular distance of the river from where we have to collect the sample from the different points. Okay, then we have to analyze the water has collected from different points. Then we will come to a conclusion. The average of this will be the result of the water sample in the river, okay, at that particular distance. Okay, so that is the average value. Like this, if you want to measure the distance of the electron from the nucleus at different instants, so we are conducting a number of measurements. Okay, so for that we have to take an average value. Okay, that is what this postulate says. Okay, so next class we will discuss particle in a box problem.